At the beginning of the film, we meet Mitch Rapp and his girlfriend Katrina, enjoying a vacation in Ibiza, Spain. Mitch seizes the moment to propose to Katrina on the beach, capturing the heartfelt event on video. Their joy is abruptly shattered when a group of terrorists suddenly descends upon the beach, opening fire on the unsuspecting visitors. Chaos erupts as people scramble for cover. Amid the panic, Mitch desperately searches for Katrina. Tragically, he witnesses her death right before his eyes. The horrifying incident leaves Mitch devastated and consumed by a thirst for vengeance. He spirals into a self-destructive state, neglecting his well-being as he obsessively trains himself in various martial arts and marksmanship. Mitch also engages in online communication with a terrorist, determined to track down the person responsible for his fiancée's murder. Mitch's relentless pursuit eventually leads him to an invitation to meet the terrorist in Libya. He prepares diligently for this confrontation, despite being captured, bound, and blindfolded. However, a sudden incursion by U.S. Special Forces disrupts his mission. Mitch is devastated to discover that his target was killed in the ensuing chaos, unleashing his pent-up rage as he repeatedly stabs the terrorist's lifeless body before being restrained by the soldiers. Subsequently, Mitch finds himself undergoing a 30-day interrogation process at a CIA facility. During this time, it becomes evident that Mitch is not an ordinary individual. He holds a master's degree from a prestigious university. The CIA's deputy director, Irene Kennedy, recognizes Mitch's unique blend of education and unbridled determination. She extends an offer for Mitch to join the clandestine black operation known as Orion. After extensive evaluations and monitoring, Mitch's potential is recognized by the CIA's top leadership. He is placed under the tutelage of Stan Hurley, a Cold War veteran known for his rigorous training methods. Stan molds his recruits into highly efficient operatives, and Mitch is no exception. Stan initially underestimates Mitch's abilities, but Mitch's unwavering resolve quickly becomes evident. He expresses his readiness to endure and excel in all the challenges set forth by Commander Stan. The first of these tests involves a one-on-one duel, where Stan imparts a deadly technique for dispatching adversaries. Mitch faces off against Victor, and what begins as underestimation turns into an intense struggle, all while Stan instills the Army's code of ethics. In another exercise, Stan employs psychological tactics, using AI to simulate shooting scenarios involving people Mitch despises. This emotionally draining experience tests Mitch's focus and resilience. In the final simulation, Mitch's struggle with emotions continued, leading to a disrupted shooting training session. This time, the target wasn't AI but a fellow agent, revealing Mitch's ongoing emotional challenges. Simultaneously, intelligence networks receive alarming news. 15 kilograms of plutonium, a critical component of nuclear weapons, has vanished from a Russian nuclear facility. This dangerous material falls into the hands of Iranian hardliners, causing diplomatic tensions between Iran and the United States. A shootout erupts in Poland at a market where plutonium is being sold from a van. Stan Hurley identifies the individuals behind the turmoil and apprehends the stolen plutonium. To his surprise, one of the culprits is a former CIA agent, Ronnie, nicknamed Ghost, who was believed to have perished during a previous black operation. Ghost intends to sell the plutonium to a buyer named Sharif, who resides in Turkey. Irene tasks Mitch with this critical operation, though Stan remains uncertain about the recruit's readiness. He conducts a final test in his office by playing a video of the Ibiza beach massacre. Mitch's emotions flare, and he attacks Stan. However, Stan effortlessly subdues him and advises against letting emotions dictate his actions. Stan, Mitch, and Victor travel to Istanbul to prevent Ghost's plutonium deal. Turkish intelligence agent Annika and her team join the operation. The plan involves tailing Sharif before he meets with Ghost, with Mitch and Annika monitoring the situation from a cafe. Stan handles security guards, and Victor positions himself accordingly. Unexpectedly, Ghost appears in the cafe and engages in conversation at the bar table. Upon noticing Victor, Ghost swiftly stabs him in the stomach, resulting in Victor's death. Mitch immediately pursues Ghost, who starts firing at cafe patrons and escapes through the back door. Stan orders the operation to be called off, but Mitch defies these instructions. Mitch proceeds to infiltrate Sharif's apartment, confronting several dogs in the parking lot before reaching his target. He eliminates Sharif and seizes Sharif's laptop. Stan reprimands Mitch for insubordination, but Mitch justifies his actions as completing the mission as assigned. The laptop reveals a money trail leading to a bank in Rome, prompting them to fly to Italy for the next phase of their mission. In Rome, the team resumes their surveillance outside the bank, eventually identifying the person who withdrew money on Sharif's behalf. They trail the man to a luxury hotel. Annika books a room adjacent to the physicist's room. While awaiting developments, Annika attempts to discuss Mitch's feelings but is interrupted when Ghost and his forces launch an attack. Ghost intimidates Mitch, demanding information about Stan's whereabouts. Stan quietly sneaks into the room. Unfortunately, Ghost manages to escape once again, leaping out of a window. They successfully apprehend the physicist and take him to a secure location. Stan detains the physicist in the car's trunk and begins interrogating him, dousing him in gasoline while pressing for information regarding the mastermind behind the nuclear bomb assembly plant. Stan lights a cigarette, and the physicist finally reveals the name, Ronnie, known as Ghost. In the hotel room, Annika tends to Mitch's injuries and mentions Ghost as their target. Mitch grows suspicious because he never mentioned Ghost's name to Annika. He demands an explanation and begins to suspect Annika might be a double agent for Iranian intelligence. To extract information from Annika, Mitch ruthlessly tortures her by drowning her in a bathtub until she loses consciousness. Struggling to obtain information from Annika, Stan decides to approach Annika's uncle, who surprisingly turns out to be a close friend of his. This connection leads Stan to a high-ranking official in Iran, General Rostami, who is orchestrating the nuclear bomb assembly plan. Before the official can reveal further details, Ghost, acting as a sniper, fatally shoots Annika's uncle. Irene arrives with 2 Mossad agents to retrieve Annika. Meanwhile, Mitch is still consumed with doubts about Ghost's identity when he receives news that Annika's uncle has been killed, and Stan has been taken captive by Ghost. Worried about Stan's well-being, Mitch desperately commandeers a car and crashes it into another vehicle carrying Annika. Together, they embark on a mission to locate Stan, who is currently held captive by Ghost. Ghost vents his frustration and anger regarding their shared past, blaming Stan for the failure of a previous mission that resulted in his capture and torture. In turn, Stan holds Ghost accountable for disobeying his superior's orders. Ghost employs various torture methods and tools to extract information about the other agents involved in the mission, but Stan, resolute and resilient, withstands the pain and refuses to divulge any details, even as he endures extreme physical torment, including having his fingernails pulled out. Ghost persisted in his attempts at intimidation, but Stan remained unfazed. In a moment of desperation, Ghost drew closer, and Stan swiftly bit off Ghost's earlobe. Minister Behruz, growing impatient with the prolonged interrogation, urged Ghost to cease his actions. Unbeknownst to Minister Behruz, Ghost was plotting betrayal. Ghost swiftly retrieved his rifle and opened fire, killing everyone present. With his team's arrival, Ghost selected a new target for a nuclear missile strike, the United States. He cunningly pinned the blame on Stan, whom he portrayed as the mastermind behind his transformation into a remorseless killer. Meanwhile, Mitch and Annika continued their mission to locate Stan by tracking Minister Behruz's whereabouts. To expedite their journey, Mitch resorted to an unconventional car theft maneuver, miraculously escaping unscathed. They raced towards the destination they had pinpointed. During the journey, Annika revealed Iran's nefarious plans to initiate a nuclear conflict and accused General Rostami and Minister Behruz of orchestrating her family's murders, including her uncle, brother, and father. Upon reaching the covert location, they discovered that it was shielded from satellite and internet connectivity, despite its open setting. Finding the main entrance padlocked, they tailed 2 individuals entering a passageway. Mitch entrusted his firearm to Annika, instructing her to proceed down the hallway, while he clambered up a pipe to evade 3 approaching guards. He descended after they had passed and hurriedly made his way into the compound, using a car to incapacitate the armed men. The car advanced until it could move no further, forcing Mitch to abandon it just before it exploded. Meanwhile, Annika stumbled upon Ghost and his team busy installing missiles. Surprisingly, she also found a bloodied Minister Behruz on the ground, who begged for forgiveness. However, consumed by vengeance, Annika shot him without hesitation. The gunshot startled Ghost and his team, prompting them to flee with the nuclear bomb, leaving Stan behind. Mitch ultimately located Stan and freed him from his restraints. Stan urged Mitch to pursue Ghost before he could escape. A tense standoff ensued when Ghost took Annika hostage. Mitch refused Annika's plea to join her family in the afterlife, incorrectly assuming she wanted to survive. Tragically, Annika decided to take her own life, despite Mitch's efforts to stop her, leaving him in stunned silence. With one of Ghost's men dispatched effortlessly, Mitch sprinted down the corridor just in time to witness Ghost speeding away on a boat. Mitch wasted no time and leapt onto Ghost's ship, igniting a fierce brawl. During their battle, Ghost taunted Mitch with memories of his girlfriend's tragic death. Meanwhile, Stan relayed information to Irene about Ghost's dire intentions to detonate a nuclear bomb over the sea. However, they soon realized the presence of a naval fleet in the vicinity. Irene promptly alerted the officers to remain vigilant, with the entire crew preparing for the impending danger. Mitch found himself nearly defeated by Ghost, who had a knife poised at his throat. However, As the film's indomitable protagonist, Mitch summoned the inner strength to reverse the situation and vanquish Ghost. Nevertheless, Mitch's mission was far from over. He needed to prevent the nuclear bomb from detonating, potentially causing a catastrophic disaster both at sea and on land. Mitch expertly steered the ship toward the approaching helicopter carrying Stan. Irene was perplexed by Stan's actions, while the naval fleet readied their cannons to target the ship. Stan issued an urgent command to Mitch to toss the bomb into the sea, and Irene, after a tense moment, instructed the fleet to hold their fire. Mitch then secured himself to a rope attached to the helicopter and was swiftly hoisted up. Upon reaching safety, Stan ordered the pilot to evacuate the area before the bomb's detonation. Everyone in the control room anxiously awaited the explosion, and eventually, the nuclear bomb erupted beneath the sea. The shockwaves affected everyone on board. Once the effects of the explosion subsided, Irene ensured the safety of all on board, with a special focus on Mitch. Grateful for Mitch's heroic actions that saved countless lives, Irene visited Stan at the hospital. As they watched the news report of Iran's accusations against the United States for the nuclear explosion off the coast of Italy, Irene and Stan realized something critical. General Rostami, who had just finished delivering his speech, stepped into an elevator, unknowingly with Mitch standing right behind him, leaving the audience in suspense as the film concluded.